It's that.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage from New Orleans is brought to you in part by Flight by Yingling, Circa Las Vegas, Smoky Mo's Barbecue, Center Gen X Testosterone and Weight Loss, and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back to the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage continues. Now joined by the Terminator, Will Anderson Jr. here on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Thank you for having me.
It's an incredible year for you. 2 years in the league now. What's the transition been like for you, year one to year two?
Yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been great. I think going into my second year, I just had a more sense of freedom that I can play with and, peace that I can play with. I'm like, okay, I know how to do this now. Like, I can make it fun now. You can go back to being your normal self. And Coach Ryans and, my D-line coach, Coach Rod, they've been amazing for me, man, and just speaking life into me and giving me so much confidence to go out and do what I need to do.
Will, you guys, I know you had your struggles throughout the year, but it seemed like you were playing your best football when the playoffs got here.
Most definitely.
And I tell you what, that game against Kansas City, I mean, you guys, you were right there. But did you feel that way? You guys were playing your best football heading into the postseason?
I most definitely believe that. I didn't want to stop playing because I felt like we was just getting to where we needed to be. And at that time, that's what you have to do. And I think just for us, it's like, how can we separate ourselves? We have to be just execute when it just comes down to the wire. Like all 4 quarters, how locked in can we be on our job? And I think that's how we get over this hump, man.
When you think about as great as everything went your rookie year, you come in, UNCJ, DeMeco Ryans, and I don't know what your impressions of the Texans were before you were drafted to them, but I mean, those were some dark years there for a while, and DeMeco gets hired in a new energy with that organization and the immediate success. This year, at least offensively, it seemed a little clunky, although defensively, you guys were right there. Was it tough watching the one side of the ball struggle a little bit, knowing you guys were doing what you needed to?
Man, we're all in this together. You know what I'm saying? And I think one thing that helped my mindset and what matured me so much going into this was talking to Coach Saban. And I asked him before I left, I said, Coach Saban, like, why do you do this? Like, what keeps you going? And he was saying that the challenge of football is what keeps him going. He said every year it looks different. Every year you're not going to go 15-0. Every year you're not going to go 14 in this. Every year you're not going to win as many games as you want to. And that's why I love the challenge, because every year is going to look different. And for me, I felt like that was like, bro, it's just a challenge, bro. It's our process. And if we let people interfere with our process, that's when we start losing who we are. We start losing our identity. But if we love our process and we know we're going to have some up and down sometimes, we're going to hit a wall sometimes, like we might lose a game, but if we continue just to stick to our foundation of what Coach DeMeco has put in place for everything, we're going to be just fine. And I think we did a really good job of that this year.
Will, coming from Alabama, big-time program, obviously, but coming to the NFL, was there anything that surprised you about the jump from college to the NFL?
Not really. I feel like we were so prepared at Alabama, kind of like when we got to the league, it was just kind of like picking back up where we left off at. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just trying to get the culture. You know what I'm saying? I think the culture in the league is different than the culture in college a little bit. And, guys from Alabama, we're like, no, we got to be this way. It got to be like that. So that's what sometimes I'll be having to say, okay, we'll pump down. These guys may not know. But it's fun, man. You get to be around a different group of guys all the time and get to hear why guys play football and why they do it. And, ultimately the main goal is to win the Super Bowl.
Will Anderson Jr. here on the Blitz, of course, with the Houston Texans. I want to go back and talk a little Alabama.
Yeah.
Playing for Nick Saban. And you hear there's the persona that you see, the coach guy, you hear stories, and now you see him as a TV guy. Anything he does on television surprise you?
Not at all. I was just telling another guy, like, the way, because me and Coach Saban actually had a really great relationship, especially my last year. After my sophomore year going into my junior year, he had a ton of respect for me. Like, whatever I needed, Will, come into my office, I need to talk to you, like, all those type of things. And I got to see him in person, like, live with it, like, joke around. And I remember one time I had got a low ankle thing, and I was missing fourth quarter. And he looked at me, he laughed, he said, how long does a low ankle sprain take? God damn it, I can get a low ankle sprain, and I'll be out here right now doing it. And he was laughing about it the whole time. But that's just who he is, man. And I think a lot of people don't get to see that because he's very passionate about ball. And when he's locked in, and that's what separates him.
Well, and that's a success, right?
Yeah.
I mean, was he the type of guy, though, that you just wanted to play hard for?
Always, because he believed in you guys so much, and he made sure that, like, no matter what was the outcome of the game, no matter how the game may be going, I believe in you guys 100%. But he held us to a standard that we were chasing every day because we loved that standard and we wanted to be a part of that standard that he had set for the team.
You think about your timing. You
Yeah.
just missed out on all the NIL stuff. At Alabama, 5-star backing up a 5-star. The third string was probably a 5-star, maybe a 4-star, and you guys just went through it. Now, I'm not starting. I'm hitting the portal, and I'm getting the hell out. Do you like the way college football has changed?
I see it from two ways. My mindset doesn't like it because of my mentality and who I am and how hard I work. I don't like it because I'm a firm believer in hard work. I'm a firm believer in if you want something, you have to go get it. You have to go earn it. But I also am a firm believer in we put so much hard work into these universities. We put so much hard work into this game that we love to play that I think that we should deserve some compensation for it. Some compensation for it. So I see it from both hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be mad at a guy who's taking money and want to help his family and get his family in a better living situation. You know what I'm saying? And I can't be mad at a guy who, you know, I may not rock with this coach. It's probably not a good chance. I'm probably not going to play. And they go somewhere else. So I just kind of see it. It just depends on what your situation is.
All right, Will, what's it going to take? And you guys, the future's bright, I think, for the Texans. When we've seen that, a lot of good players, a lot of young players, to get them to Santa Clara next year for this big game.
As players, I'm not going to even talk about coaches and anything like that. As players, how are we showing up? How are we sacrificing our time? What more are we giving to the game that we say we love? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's going to be my challenge. Like, how much more do we have to give in order to us to get past this hump, in order to us to win more games, in order to us to reach the standard that we want to reach?
Will, who do you reach out to that's been in the league, been to the Super Bowl, to get advice from?
I just met Michael Strahan last night, and I will most definitely be talking to him more. I grew up watching him. I grew up watching this game, man. He's fantastic. So that's one guy that I'm really going to lean on. But J.J. Watt has been an absolute, like, great role model for me, and talking to him and his words of advice, those are like guys that I really like, man. And JJ, you know, him being from, you know, Houston, him just telling like, Will, I can hope that you can take Houston to a place that I never could. It just means a lot for me. So that's somebody I lean on a lot.
You ever talk to other guys and other teams? Micah Parsons, for example.
I talked to Myles Garrett. Yeah, Myles are really
Myles
close.
Garrett.
That's my big bro. Like I love Myles Garrett, man, and he's been super great for me. He taught me a lot. Just going into my second year, I got a chance to work with him. I'm going to do some more work with him, but just how to take care of my body, man, how to play the game the right way in a different sense of, you know, playing different things and stuff like that. He's been a really good help for my game.
When you think about some of the people you mentioned and like a J.J. Watt, we know how hard he worked and the effort that he put into the game.
Yeah.
You're that way.
Yeah.
Not everybody is. How do you, as a teammate, do you get pissed off when you see a guy not putting in that work, or do you go in there and make that guy work a little bit harder?
You know, it's a way of doing it. You know what I'm saying? You pull a guy to the side and you tell him, you know, in the NFL it's a little differently. You know what I'm saying? But you can speak very freely, and we have spoke very freely in our locker room and in our team meetings about stuff. And I'm very passionate about it. And sometimes I have to control my feelings because I get super fired up. And you know, the guys, they respect me enough. They know that I'm not a bullshitter. Like what I do on the field is what I'm going to do throughout the week. Like what I prepare is going to show up on Sunday. So man, like my thing is I just want the best for everybody in the building. I want us to all reach our common goal, which is the Super Bowl.
And players know that, right? Because they see how hard you work. They see how you perform on the field. So if you're doing it right and you're having those results, they're going to follow you.
Most definitely. I think that's why I take so much pride wearing that C on my chest as a second-year guy, man. You know, like not a lot of second-year guys, the first-year guys get to wear the C on their chest. So, like, I really stand in that proudly, knowing like they chose you to be a captain for a reason. Like, keep being you. You don't have to do anything extra, man. You just have to be Will Anderson Jr.
Well, and Will Anderson Jr., the Terminator, 6'4", ain't nobody going to mess with you, right? I mean, let's be honest. I'm pulling you aside. They're going to listen, right? Second-year guy or not, because your personality and what you bring. You and CJ coming in together, along with DeMeco Ryans, who was that kind of guy when he was playing for the Houston Texans. The three of you seem to have that instant connection. What's it like for you guys, not necessarily always in the locker room or on the field, but away from football when you guys are living life, being social, or do you have that kind of relationship?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, And that's why I love Coach Ryan so much because, you hear all this talk about it's the NFL, coaches can't do this, it's a business. And I was telling my coach, I was like, Coach, my coach, he's a college coach. He came from Miami. He came in. I'm like, we have to move away from that. We all have a common goal, which is the Super Bowl. We have to get away from, I don't know how long I'm going to be here, all that type of talk. Why are you here? What type of legacy are you leaving? Why are you here? How you building relationships with the people in this building? Why are you here? How you pointing to your coach? How you pointing to your player? And that's what I love about this coaching staff so much because it's not that we have to be kumbaya. It's not that we have to let our kids play with each other. It's about we have one goal, and I want to know why you're doing it. I want to build this relationship with you. And Coach Ryans had me and CJ over his house this offseason for dinner and whatever like that. And that just gives us a much more better relationship off the field for when we on the field, we know, like, I can go to war for this guy. Like, I've been to this guy's house. I know what he's about. We have a relationship. Like, that's my brother. That's my coach. Like, how can we continue to make this thing better?
I do. You got to tell me because I'll never know. What's it feel like to sack a quarterback?
Man, it's the best feeling in the world, man. I don't care what nobody say. I did a little thing I was telling him. It's like, it just brings me so much joy. But, like, as a defensive end, you can go out there and get strapped all game. You get that one sack, you had the best game of your life. But that's just how, like, good it feels.
Who's the toughest to bring down?
Lamar Jackson, man. Lamar Jackson. He's light. He's like a cheetah out there, man. Like, he's like a little gazelle. Like, you trying to go hunt him, man. You cannot catch him for nothing.
What's the one sack that you've had where when you hit that guy, I don't know if he made a weird noise or whatever, you got him. But what's the one sack when you like, man, you're telling stories with the guys, you get around, you're telling war stories. I hit this. Who's that? Tell us the story.
Probably Tua. Probably Tua when I had a strip sack against him in the last game we just played when I came from behind and I hit him so hard. I feel like I can hear him say, oh, like, dang. But Tua's my guy, though. I love Tua, man. He's fantastic, man. But I enjoy what I do, man. It brings me so much thrill, and it keeps me, like, on edge, man, that I just want more and more and more of it.
No doubt. And the talent level, I mean, obviously you played in the SEC, but it's a step up, isn't it? I mean, everybody's pretty good.
Everybody's pretty good, and that's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, bro, like, it's not about a team's record. It's not about where this team is at. These guys get paid just like you. This is what we dream of as little kids going into this, man. And the guys you're going against, he's going to be a top guy in his position. He's going to be good just like you.
Will Anderson Jr. here on at the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. You're a fun dude, great personality. You did a little bit of a Saban impersonation. Can you do a DeMeco Ryans?
Haven't mastered it yet. You gotta
we'll work on it. Work on it right. We'll work on it now. You got something. I know you got something.
I don't have anything
yet.
You
got something.
I don't have anything yet.
You got something, man.
Not yet.
Free will it, man. You got something.
I don't have anything yet, but I'm gonna work on it. In the next song, I got y'all.
All right.
I'm
gonna hold you to that.
Right. Is there anybody else on the team that you like to do?
My D-line coach, Rod Wright. He is hilarious, man. When he gets fired up, he's like, I don't know what y'all on today, but I'm gonna come in here with some energy. I don't know if y'all scared or not, but that's how he be talking. It just be so funny, man. And we be joking. He said, Rod be turned up, man, but he's a great coach, man.
And you don't have anything, DeMeco, you can roll
not
out?
Yet,
not yet.
All right.
Are you sure?
I promise you.
All right, because there's peanut butter involved for you here if you're able to do that because you're rolling around with Jeff to go. So, I mean, you got to earn the peanut butter. Give us a DeMeco Ryans.
I got you. Next time,
Next time. Tell us a little bit what you're doing with Jeff.
Yeah, man, it's awesome, man. A billion people eat, chicken wings on Super Bowl every year. And, I'm teaming up with Jeff to save the celery. And what better way to save the celery than with some Jeff peanut butter, man? So y'all got some celery.
Well, I mean, you're a pro athlete. Look at us.
Yeah.
Mixing in a sit-up or a salad or something green. If there's celery there, it better have some peanut butter on it or I ain't eating it, right? You know how that goes.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. We'll appreciate you stopping by, man. This was fun.
Thank you. I thank y'all for having me.